Welcome guys, appreciate y'all stopping in. We got the chat log working this time, but for some stupid reason my display's not working, so I have to look that way, which for you guys it looks like normally I'm looking this way to play my games, but I gotta look this way. It's crazy to explain, but beside the point, we're still gonna enjoy some games, play some stuff here, but really the point is to be testing out these Retro-Bit official Sega branded USB controllers. So we got the Sega Genesis style, the 8-button arcade, and then the Sega Saturn controller, USB cables. Links in the description if you're interested. I'm really digging these. I like these clear ones. I haven't really used the black ones much. I like these clear color. The clear blue, flippin' sweet, both for the USB and the original Sega port. Awesome stuff. Same thing with the cool pad, the slate gray Sega Saturn. Love it. But right now I have this one plugged in. So with the Super Retro-Cade, oh my god. Oh my god. You guys followed me for a while since Super Retro-Cade came out. You guys know how crazy we were about this thing. And I think there's still a lot of people who are. Right now I have a little SD card popped in there with a handful of games. But if we unpop the SD card out, it'll load up the games that are included. So we could test out a few things. I loaded up a handful of games. Let's get that SD card back in there. What? SD card storage, boom. So just a handful of games, TurboGrafx, Game Gear, some arcade stuff, Super Graphics, NES, Super Nintendo. So why not, right? So let me take a look, see who's up in the chat so we can get this party started. Christopher Galloway, appreciate you stopping in. Evixian, appreciate it. First Inkling, that's what I'm talking about. Hi-oh. What? Who else we got? Dan, appreciate it. Hitting that notification bell, best thing I ever did. Appreciate that, bro. Dave D, damn Ron, I missed the live shows. Yeah, this is the third day in a row, I believe, that we've actually streamed. So we're streaming, man. We're streaming. Oval Fast LX, why not test it on the Mister? I will eventually get around to testing on the Mister, but right now we're testing on the Super Retro-Cade. Why not? Let's see some Street Fighter 2 for Genesis. I don't have any Genesis on, I don't think, right now. Joaquin, what's good, boys? How's it going? Appreciate you stopping in, man. Retro-Bit, welcome back. Hello again. We're testing out your controllers. We got the Sega Genesis 8-button and then the Sega Saturn USB. We're playing on the Super Retro-Cade. Gonna test some stuff out, so why not? Why do these, do these work with Dreamcast emulators? Yes. Mario World from Nintendo. Guess I better check out the Super Retro-Cade. The Super Retro-Cade is flippin' sweet. Like so many, when this thing came out, man, the community that we got going, everybody was all about this thing. The interest is still there. There's still a lot of people talking about it, but it is definitely amazing for the price. What you get with it, you could easily load games through SD. Like, who would have thought, right? So let's test a couple games out. We'll get into the Street Fighter stuff, but with the Super Retro-Cade, if you press select before you select your game, you do get some options. You get some audio options, video options. If you have a Super Retro-Cade or you ever plan on getting one, I always recommend with your games, go to video and put to original size, because otherwise it'll be stretched. Some people don't mind that, that's fine, but I recommend going original size so that you get the original aspect ratio meant for that game. So that's how I have all these set right now. And then for console games with the 1.1 Retro-Cade, we do have an advanced setting, I believe. Yeah, video smoothing. You can turn that off or on. I recommend leaving it off. It just looks a lot more sharp. So very nice with that. Those are the main settings. But the biggest thing when you're using other controllers besides the ones that came with the system is you may need to remap stuff. So that's where the controller input stuff comes in. And all this stuff is saved per game, so you could set up, you know, your Street Fighters and everything else. We're just gonna leave it as is, but so far from my little bit of testing, the mode button on the controller works as select just fine, and the start button works just like start. So playing an arcade game, you're hitting the mode button to insert coins, start to start, select, mode is select. You guys know what I'm saying, right? So let's test a couple games out. We'll get in the Street Fighter. Man, I want to test out Snow Brothers. Let me see. I haven't seen if most of these games load, but I'm pretty sure they do. So let's just get right into it. Make sure I'm not getting out of focus here. Let me see. What's going on? Retro-Bit, love when they come in. That's what I'm talking about. That way they can answer some questions, because I don't always have the answers, man. Just here to answer questions. Watch MLP wreck some faces. That's what I'm talking about. My favorite Snow Bros, one of my favorite games. Like I said, my display is not working, so I'm looking at my recording, which is fine. There's no lag between my recording versus what you're seeing, what I'm seeing when I'm playing. So boom, this is actually okay. The A button is jump. Oh crap. Oh. A button is jump, B is to shoot our snow. I used to play this game all the damn time in the arcade, specifically at a 7-Eleven when I lived in Pomona, California. What you know about that? I know Retro-Bit knows something about Pomona, but yeah, I grew up in, well, I didn't grow up, but I lived a nice part of my life in Pomona, California. And there was a 7-Eleven, and they had Snow Brothers. It's the only arcade game they had, and I played the crap out of it, man. Every day after school. That's what I'm talking about. Retro-Bit up in Pomona. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I attended elementary school and played the heck out of a lot of arcade games. Back at that 7-Eleven, I believe. What street is that? Indian Hill? Not Indian Hill. The Indian Hill? Yeah, Indian Hill. There's 7-Eleven right there. It's still there. But they used to have arcade games. You guys remember when everywhere had arcade games, man? The laundromat had arcade games, liquor store, 7-Elevens. Now what? Now, to be fair, with the people asking which do I prefer, the 8-bit or the Retro-Bit, I'm gonna tell you right now, when Retro-Bit puts out their Bluetooth controllers, I will do some comparisons. For me, at the moment, it's hard to compare because these are original. Like, these are original style controllers, and it's what I dig. I like wired controllers for my systems. The wireless stuff I like using for emulation and stuff like that. So I like both of the controllers that are out right now from 8BitDo and Retro-Bit. I like both of them. I'm probably going to solely use the original port wired controllers for my original systems, like the JVC XI, the Sega Genesis. So I'll be using Retro-Bit's controllers for that. I am going to be testing out the 8BitDo stuff that's coming out as well. But I think with some of the 8BitDo controllers, I'm going to be using that for emulation purposes and whatnot. But we will compare the two. Don't fret. I'm not scared. I'll compare the two. 8BitDo versus Retro-Bit when Retro-Bit puts out their wireless controller. We'll be testing that. But back to what we're doing here. Start and select, and the Retro-Cade, boom, opens up this menu in-game so we can access some stuff, load states, save states. SD load save, oh, so you can do that to the save to the SD card, button mapping, all that good stuff, or we can go right back to the main menu. That's what I'm talking about. So that's where we are at. So what's going on in the chat? It's kind of hard to be going back and forth. Micro Center carries the Super Retro-Cade. Well, there you go. Always look, I believe, on the back of the box. It says if it's version 1.1. Mattias, appreciate you stopping in. Arcus, what's good? Jonathan just came in. How's the quality of the controller? These controllers are great to me. They're working fine so far, but I haven't had much of a chance to test these USB ones. That's what we're doing today. You're just kind of scrolling back, looking at some of the chat. 7-Eleven with an arcade machine, hard to imagine that now. Yeah, Chris, for sure. Juan Torres, appreciate you coming in, you punk. Beneficial, what's up, man? From down under. $69.99, the newer version for the Retro-Cade, Super Retro-Cade. Are the buttons responsive? Yes, they're very responsive. I haven't had an issue with that yet. We should try a Street Fighter. Let's see if Alpha 3 loads up. I'm sure with these, it's not the controller specific. It's just any, well, these aren't third party. They're Retrobit Sega controllers, but any controller that did not come with the Super Retro-Cade, you may have to do some controller configs. But I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Now, we got like one Micro Center in California. I believe it's in Tustin. It's like an hour away from me. Is it durable if I rage quit? You rage quit and throw these controllers, I mean, any controller could break, right? I mean, I don't throw my controllers. I don't know if I want to test that because I actually want to keep these controllers, man. Like, if I didn't care about these controllers, I would do some durability testing and throw them against the wall. But like I said, you just if you're harsh with your controllers throwing them around, you're gonna mess them up, man. Have you tried with your SNES Classic? Tried what? The which controllers are we talking about? Yeah, when I spoke to that whole little thing with Micro Center, I don't really want to revisit that right now. But when there was some drama going on over there and I talked to the dude from corporate, he told me stuff I didn't know about, that there was only 25 Micro Centers in the US, that kind of thing. So I was like, oh, that's why there's only one in California. Oh. Now I know, like, when we were doing a lot of content on the Super Retro-Cade, I had spoke about like how to like remap your buttons for arcade sticks and stuff like that. It would be pretty much the same thing for a game like this. Like for Street Fighter, like figure out what the buttons do and then like write that down and then remap it so it's easier to figure out. Because yeah, right now they're not arranged the way you would like them to be. But that's going to be with any USB controller that works on the Super Retro-Cade. You'd have to rearrange most of the time for Street Fighter games. Everything else, it's just, you know, 2 buttons, not a big deal. Oh my god, I'm getting my ass whooped. Oh, there we go. Got me, man. Dude got me. The Sega Mini is getting closer finally. Might be tough. Might be tough because of the Mega Drive collections they released. Yeah, things getting closer, but it's kind of like with the Sega Genesis Classic collection, it's like, man, I'm not as amped for a Sega Mini, but I'm still gonna get one. Not gonna lie. Lucas, what up? But yeah, just like using the original port controllers, the D-pad feels really good. It's responsive. I'm not doing that great on these games, but you know, it is what it is. I'm having a capture card issue here. I have an internal capture card and it does not want to display on my monitor that I have it hooked up to, so I'm looking at my recording. Oh my god, I don't know how to play as him. I'm not thrilled with anything that At Games does, so I'm glad they're not involved with Sega, with the Sega Classic Edition, whatever you want to call it. All right, man, I'm getting out of this game. I'm getting my ass beat. Alpha Bison. I can't play him. I used to play Bison in Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4, I used to play him. But at the same time, it's kind of giving me a little nonsense going on, but that's all right. Let me see, what else do we want to try? Turtles in Time? Is this the arcade? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we got both up in here. Now let's try Turtles in Time. The turtle games only use 2 buttons. What? Attack and attack and jump. Winners don't use drugs, guys. Don't forget it. Oh, this is the one thing too with the 4-player games. You always want to get the 2-player version if you're putting them on something. That way you can select your character, like The Simpsons, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, Sunset Riders, all those Konami 4-player arcade games. If you use the 4-player version, you don't get to select your character. You got to use a 2-player version.
This is April on the other corner.
It would be great if Sega made their Mini able to run Dreamcast games. Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna downplay that one. All right, let me see what the buttons are. A is jump, B is attack. Cool. Retail stores will be selling them as well. You got to hit up like your local stores, but you know, I don't know. I don't know about like every place, but for sure, like your retro gaming stores, those kind of places will have them. Like if you're in California, I would imagine places like Super Video Game Bros, Pixel Vault. Who else is in California that I go to? There are Lost Levels out there in Fullerton. I'm sure all those guys will be selling it. You just gotta ask. You gotta tell these guys, order them, man. We want them. But if you can't find them locally in retail stores, Amazon's got you covered, and Castlemaniagames.com. How do the top row silver buttons feel? They feel fine. I mean, they're responsive. I'm not using them in this game. I was using them in the Street Fighter games. But they're just as responsive. You know, they're smaller than the ABC, but that's how they originally were.
Prepare to die.
Way more interested in Dreamcast Mini. I would say, yeah. I mean, a lot of people, man, you know, are always, you know, talking about, you know, these companies making sure we have access to their back catalog, and I think Sega has done a fairly good job with that. Like a really good job, especially with Sega Genesis stuff, man. Like they've continually like re-released things in different collections, which is cool. You know, it keeps people playing those games. People getting to rediscover them on new systems. But yeah, man, past Sega Genesis, we gotta get some Sega Dreamcast love going on.
Terminate the turtle.
Come on. And who else back in the day had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys? I had a ton of them. I wish I never lost them. When I was a kid, that's what it was about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys and Ghostbusters toys, man. Right now I'm using the Sega Genesis controller. I can't pause, this is an arcade game. I'm using the Sega Genesis USB controller. The L and R buttons, they do have a audible click and a feel to them, but the Sega Saturn, they're not. I said this on the stream yesterday. They feel the same as the original controller. I even showed like comparison. I don't have it sitting over here, but they don't have that audible click that's the same as the original, but the button still feels the same when you push them. That's the Sega Saturn. But, you know, for some that, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me too much. There's still a click. It's just not like the same sound as the original Sega Saturn controller. But it still feels the same. Yeah, the Sega Genesis USB controller for compatibility with tons of other stuff has L and R buttons, has shoulder buttons. Getting my ass handed to me here, man. Come on. Any news on when the Bluetooth? I think Retrobit was saying what, June or July, something like that. And that's when we'll be comparing those to the 8-bit though versions. Multiplix, what's up? Yeah, I've barely been on Twitter, man. I've barely gotten into the Twitter game. I kind of didn't really grasp the idea of social media for a while.
Cool off, sucker.
Oh, Bluetooth in August. There you go. So the 2.4, that makes sense. I know I was confused. So the Bluetooth August, June, or July, the 2.4 gigahertz versions. I gotta like write these dates down because people are constantly asking me, and it's like, oh man.
Pizza time.
Come on. I love this game, but I think we should try something else out. We should try something else. Yeah, we got Retrobit. They kind of surprised us and jumped in the stream yesterday as well. PS1 freak, I'm forced into playing Minecraft with my brother. I'm using Switch and PC crossplay. That's cool. Why not, right? Turbo Duo PC Engine Mini, please. That's what I'm talking about. Have you ever given thought on starting a Discord server? Multiplix, I do have a Discord. I gotta figure out how to use it, man. Like, I don't think I'm an idiot, but I'm just, man, I've been messing with Discord for the past, like, 6 months, maybe? And I'm just like, I can't grasp it, dude. I don't know what it is. I gotta figure it out, man. Discord's just, like, one of those things, man. Like, people are like, get on Instagram, get on Discord, do this, do that. And I'm, like, jumping into everything slowly. But I'm trying to figure things out, man. I gotta figure out Discord. It's been long enough. I do gotta figure it out. I constantly have people tell me you need to get on Instagram, and I'm like, I have an Instagram when I owned a business a couple years back, but I never even really used it that much then. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the deal with Instagram? It's better to be like original without LNR, just the mode button. I feel what you're saying there, but I think some people, like, I could see this controller not having an LNR. I would never use these. I mean, what am I going to use the LNR buttons for? But some people might, for some, you know, certain games, I guess, or you could remap them to other things. Me, I'm just going to use the face buttons. Like the LNR buttons, yeah, they're not really, they're not of use to me, but some people might use them. Not a big deal for me though, like I said. But the original Sega ones that they put out for the with the original port, they don't have LNR buttons. Just has the mode button. LNR is ideal for Megaman X games for the dash button. Dan, Discord and Reddit are to me the best things the internet has brought us this decade. I don't even use Reddit, man. I'm kind of scared. Pinterest, Snapchat, Facebook, those are trash. Man, you guys got me lost. I don't know much of anything about social media, guys. To release the Saturn pad for the Xbox One and PS4, that would be interesting. Have you tested new controllers with the Super Retro Trio Plus? Tested what new controllers? My Super Retro Trio Plus is back in its box over here. I had it plugged in upstairs for my kids to use, but they weren't using it as much, so I was like, give that back. But I haven't tested too much. I've tested the 8-bit though stuff, and that's about it. If there's something else you want me to try, the new Sega controllers on there, I mean, they're gonna work. I just haven't tested them yet. You'd like Reddit and Discord, I think. The learning curve isn't bad, but here's the harsh reality of social media for me anyway. Is spending too much time. Like, I have so much I do with YouTube, trying to reply to comments, stuff on Twitter, Facebook, people messaging me. I'm like so far behind on like DMs and messages on Facebook and stuff. Like, I get a ton of messages. I mean, I never thought I would, but I do. And it's a lot of time. So that's the one thing that scares me about getting into other things. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna spend more time like on my phone, on my computer, looking at all that stuff. But I don't know, let's find another game to jump into. You know what, let's Mario Dances to new subscribers. Yeah, I was thinking about changing that animation, but I just left it. Let's check this out. Let's do it. All my family are gamers or like interactive activities. Mega Drummer. My kids are gamers. My wife's not, unfortunately. Wait, what are we playing? It's a Super Graphics game. Oh my god, what is this? Oh yeah, this is the one I was like, why is this a Super Graphics game? The background looks horrible. Why did I put this on here? What is this? What is this? I remember playing this on a stream before, and I was like, what is this game? Did I play this on the Super Retro-Cade? I don't even remember. Dude, this game is garbage. Why did I put this on here? I think I was thinking of something else. Oh my god. My wife will play like she has a 3DS. She used to play like Animal Crossing, but not so much anymore. Leave the dancing Mario, I gotcha. No, this is not all the games. This is just, I have an SD card where I popped on some games just to test out. I'll show you the games that are actually included with the system, which I believe there's like 90 or over 90 games. We'll take a look at that in a second, though. I just wanted to throw a few games on here. To test out the buttons. Crap. My wife has been in one of my videos. Figure it out, bro. She was in one. My wife was in one video that I can remember. I think she was kind of like, why am I doing this? But she was in one video. Just one. Oh my god. Yeah, this is one where I'd have to rearrange the buttons because... Okay. She was in like an older video that I did. I'm not going to play Mario on here. We'll go ahead and check out the... I mean, I got some cool games sitting right here on the system with the SD card, but unpopping the SD card out. This is the games that are included with the system. What up, MLP 420 Raziel? Long time your wife was playing Snow Brothers. Yeah, we played Snow Brothers on a video where I was talking about Snow Brothers for some reason. I don't even remember why. Yeah, the button. You got to change the button layout for a game like that. And like, you know, Super Nintendo games, man. I gotta use a Super Nintendo style controller, man. But here we go. These are the games that come included on the Super Retro-Cade version 1.1. I know there was a couple changes. I couldn't tell you what they are. Additions or whatever. Didn't mean to push the Discord thing. I have a Discord, man. I just got to figure it out. But what else do we got here? Kengo. I don't know what some of these games are, but there's a lot of dope games on here. What we got? Megaman 2? Megaman 3? I'm not drinking anything, man. I haven't drank in a while. Trying to get my health in check besides this, even though people want to give me guff about this too, but no, I haven't drank in a while, man. Timothy White, I upload videos. I don't really have a schedule, man. My schedule is I upload when I feel like it. Most of the time it's later at night. If you like really looked at any kind of like pattern, I would say midnight. Like most of the time I upload around midnight. It just depends. So like if there's something like groundbreaking news or something I really want to comment on, I'll record that earlier in the day, but most of the time later at night. But yeah, a lot of times it's random. Strider Arcade, Strider for the, is that the NES? Something, I believe. Let's find a game to play. Dan, appreciate that, man. Ninja Spirit, that's on here? Let me find it. Oh, you know what? Let me get out of that. Set it to original resolution. Let's get into it. The Odroid is definitely a badass device, man. Ken Morrow, appreciate it, man. In my videos, I don't ham it up, man. I just streams, I might be a little more chill, but because well, even in videos, it's not like I'm scripting anything. Oh, crap. The multiplex, appreciate that, bro. Really do, man. Alright, I'm trying to figure out the buttons here. That might be a little loud, but hey. Redesigned Dreamcast controllers. I think a lot of us were talking about that yesterday when Retrobit was in the chat.
Here you go, my dude.
Here you go, my dude. Appreciate it. This game is fun. I'm just trying to figure out these buttons, man, for this game. It looks like it uses a jump, attack, and then a weapon select. And these fools just keep coming at me, man. Oh crap! Gotta get away from. Oh. Oh, we got diagonal action in this game too. You know what? We're gonna the Genesis controller is legit in my opinion. I mean, did you see the diagonals? Everything's working good for me. I can't really complain about this controller. Did you see the new SD2 SNES firmware release? Yes, I did, and I've got it loaded up, bro. Let me exit out of this game. And I'm gonna plug in the I don't remember if this like wigs out if you change controllers while it's on. I don't think it does. I hope it doesn't. Nightbot? The hell? When the hell did I get Nightbot up in here? Why is Nightbot warning people? What the hell? Do I have Nightbot in here? The frick? Why do I have Nightbot showing up on there, but not on the actual thing. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. On my actual recording, it shows Nightbot is responding, but then on YouTube, it doesn't show Nightbot. I don't know what the heck's going on with that crap, man. Get out of here, Nightbot. By Retro Fighters. Wait, MLP excited about that remade Dreamcast controller by Retro Fighters? Oh yeah, of course I'm excited about it, dude. I jumped on that like right away. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Let me make sure this controller is responding. Yes, it is. Oh, actually, why is it like... Okay, I know the D-pads are like slightly different, but the D-pad feels better on the Saturn controller for me. It feels a little I don't know how to explain it, a little more loose. It's not loose, but it feels like it responds a lot better to me. I think I might prefer using the Saturn controller on the Retro-Cade. Let me pop in the SD card again. Play Street Fighter. Or we'll play Vampire Saviors. I think this is the first time I've used this on the Super Retro-Cade, but just feeling the D-pad and how it's responding, I think this is going to be my preferred one. Yeah, the Saturn D-pad is always dope. Mega Drummer, appreciate that, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. My body is ready for those Dreamcast component cables from HD Retrovision. Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, okay, what is the, okay. So with the Saturn USB, since there's no mode or select button, right now it looks like the L button or the L shoulder is registering as select, and then start registers as start. So that's good. But like I said, you can change your button configurations if you need to. For fighting games, it's probably going to be a must. Who are we going to play? I haven't played this in a long time, man. Play as Lilith. Why not? Oh yeah, yeah. Nothing against the Sega controller, but just the, I know I'm not crazy good at this game or anything, but the way this feels, yes, the Saturn controller. It's hands down the Saturn controller's it, man. Defaults L for select, you can reconfigure it, yep. Yeah, I mean, the Saturn controller has 6 face buttons, so for arcade games, I mean, the L and R, not really going to be that big of a deal. Lodmont, appreciate it. Huh. But like I said earlier, the one thing you would probably want to do, let me hear.
Is life complete with the new Retrobit controllers?
Is life complete? Well, it's close to being complete. It's close. I still need, there's a lot of things I need to be complete in life, but it brings it a little bit closer, not gonna lie. But like I was saying earlier, the one thing with fighting games in the Super Retro-Cade that you would probably want to do if you're adding fighting games to like the SD card or whatever, is you want to map out your buttons for fighters, because the controllers that came with the Retro-Cade, they didn't have 6 face buttons, so it maps them a little differently. So I always recommend playing a game, figuring out what low punch, medium, high, low kick, medium, high, that kind of thing is, like map it out and then remap it. Like I always write it down for this, and then I mean it saves it once you do it, so you're fine. But I write it down, make sure I got it legit. And then there we go. So that's just one thing I typically recommend anyway. But yes, for the Super Retro-Cade, I think the Saturn, I really think the Saturn controller is the clear winner. I miss Capcom 2D fighting games that aren't Street Fighter. I feel you on that. Oh, Oddmot, yeah, read the message. Appreciate that, dude. I have like voice, the chat, whatever it is, set up. So why not? But there we go. Play a little Street Fighter Alpha 2, see how this responds. Mike B, appreciate that, man. We need retro consoles, brand new HDMI retro consoles. That's what I'm all for. I was saying earlier, you know, if they, with the Sega Genesis Classic Edition Mini, I know there's so many ways to play Sega Genesis with collection stuff, but it's still neat and it's still cool. I have so many, you know, I have the C64 Mini, 3 Neo Geo Minis for, geez, why do I got 3 of them? Super Nintendo Classic, NES Classic, PlayStation Classic. And it's fun, man. It is fun. Do they have one of these Sega Retro-Bit, you mean the Retro-Bit controllers in black? Yes, they do both of them in black. I just like the clear ones, man. Ain't gonna lie. I like the clear ones. That's where it's at for me. All right, let's insert 2 coins, man. Game is greedy. Sega needs to quit leaving the I mean, yeah, like really, like some of the 32X games, like how hard would that be to just pop them on there, man? We got 32X emulation that's spot on pretty much. Like get a handful of those good 32X games, man. I mean, 32X has got some alright stuff. Would Sonic CD be hard to throw in too? I feel you on that, man. Boom! With the way I'm having to view this game, I'm surprised I did alright there, you know what I'm saying? Boom! Mixolydian, that's cool, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, that was like when people were talking about the Retro-Bit USB controllers. I know there's so many things I could test it on, but the main two things that a lot of people brought up was do they work on the Super Retro-Cade and do they work on Mister? Yes, they work on Mister. I wasn't 100% if they were going to work on the Super Retro-Cade. Retro-Bit said yesterday that, yeah, that's how they've been doing their setups at conventions and whatnot, that they've been having these controllers hooked up to the Super Retro-Cade. I was like, hell yeah, so that's what we're going to stream today, testing it out, see how it feels. But yeah, that's why we streamed this today, was because it was like the #1 request that people were giving me, like, hey, do they work on the Super Retro-Cade? Boom. Got her. I'm like getting myself stuck in the corner. We need blast processing. Boom! Got her. Space Harrier 2 on the Genesis is so inferior to the original on the 32X. I should add a required checkbox that you acknowledge they work on the Super Retro-Cade. There you go, Castlemania. Hey, Castlemania, I just ordered a couple more HD Retrovision cables from you, man. I forgot to use the code Sega, but it is what it is, man. I used my own code, so I did get 10% off, but I forgot about the 15% off code for the month. The Sega code, dang it. I have like way too many HD Retrovision cables, but I was like, you know what, man? I know Castlemania just re-upped. Because the other day, I mean, I was looking at your stock. I was like adding to see how many you had, and I think you had like 40 or something like the other week. And then it just kept dwindling down, dwindling down, dwindling down. I was like, dang it. And so I noticed the other day you said that you restocked. I was like, I better grab a couple more, man. I'm going to regret not getting them, and then there'll be a long wait. So I jumped on there a little while. You don't have to worry about the difference, man. I was just like, dang it, I forgot. I did use my code, so I did save 10% off, man. Appreciate that. Keto sucks. Yeah, my sarcasm, you know, some people like it, some people hate it. It is what it is, man. I could be a dick at times. Which is, oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out. Alright, there we go. Yeah, hands down, my recommendation between the two USB controllers is definitely the Saturn controller for the Retro-Cade. How much is the unit? I believe the Super Retro-Cade is what, $69.99? The Raspberry Pi, yeah, you're gonna pay $35 plus your controllers plus memory card, that kind of thing. With the Super Retro-Cade, I do recommend buying a memory card so you can load games like we're doing here today. But some people, they really like the convenience of the Super Retro-Cade and what it can do. You know, TurboGrafx, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Gear, Sega Master System. I don't know if I said that. NES, Famicom. Arcade games, Neo Geo. So there's a ton of compatibility, but then the thing too is like you don't really have to worry about anything. Yeah, maybe configure your buttons or whatever. There's a few options for things like the smoothing for console games, the resolution. It's fairly simple unit to use. A lot of people like the simplicity behind it. Adding games, nothing you really have to do to get the thing up and running. It's just plug and play. Raspberry Pi requires a little more work. Sure, there's a lot more you could do with the Raspberry Pi, but to me, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just gonna be, what do you prefer? Do you want a simple plug and play solution that you could add thousands of games to very easily? Or do you want, you know, something that takes a little more tinkering, but you could add like tons of stuff? Like there's a lot more, there's quite a bit more compatibility with Retropie on the Raspberry Pi than there is with the Retro-Cade, but it's kind of two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like one is great if you're into tinkering. The other, you just want to play, man. You just want to play some games. Retro-Cade won't play CD games, yeah. But it's just kind of, it's nice to have options. No right or wrong answer. I like the Retro-Cade. I also like using Raspberry Pi through Retropie, or Retropie through Raspberry Pi, right? But it's you know, if you get something pre-set up on Retropie, which I don't really recommend buying like an image or a setup. If you could set it up yourself or download a pre-made image, yeah, you're good to go. Yeah, you just drag the games onto an SD card and that's it. You don't have to put them in folders. You don't have to connect to the internet, nothing like that. It is a simple solution. Very simple solution. And Charlie, come on now. Sega CD will run on the Retro-Cade. I never tried Sega CD. Dude, I have the Generations sealed in a box, man. I got one when they were like clearanced out on Amazon for like 15 bucks, and I haven't used it. I had another one that I used and reviewed on the channel, and it would be kind of cool, man, if we could get the Retro-Cade 1.1 firmware on the Generations, man. That would breathe some life back into that thing. Yeah, the Generations, man. The Retro-Cade brought it all back around, though. Is it possible to play the Mortal Kombat arcade games? I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I do have... Let me look for something here. I had a... I had a folder up with all the games from the Retro-Cade add-on stuff. I don't know if Mortal Kombat was on there. If it's on there, then it works. Let me see. Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure what the abbreviations are. I don't know if they work. They might not. It doesn't look like I have them on the pack that I got. I don't think. Oh, I'm not seeing them on my pack. I don't know. Somebody might know better than I do. Dwayne Hurst, hi and goodbye. Just needed to say that. Appreciate you stopping in, bro. What are we asking here? Christopher Galloway, is it easy to just swap SD cards in a Raspberry Pi if you properly put an image? Yeah, I mean, if you have, because everything's saved to the SD card, so whatever, if you have an image set up on one, like, I mean, I guess some people might have a reason for that, but you would just swap it around. You could swap it around as long as it's set up, because all your configurations are saved on your memory card. One Up John, yeah, I remember there was a conversation on Twitter about that. Have you tested the controllers on the PlayStation Classic? No, I have not. That would be interesting. I don't know if they would work. That would be kind of cool. I'm gonna have to test that, dude. I don't have my PlayStation Classic out at the moment, but we will test that for sure. Let's return to game. Is it difficult to find? I can't direct people on looking for ROMs, but man, I know it's tougher for a lot of people with some of the big sites gone, but you know, you just gotta know where to look, man. The Internet Archive is, you know, a good place, I guess, to look for things. Did Retrobit mention anything about the white Saturn controller? I know they did yesterday. I don't remember what they said. Pretty sure they said they were going to be coming out, but like a little later on. Oh, he got me. Oh, you son of a... He beat me. He beat me. Let me see. What have we not tried on here? I don't know why this shows Adventure Island 3. I gotta check the picture that I got on there. I think this is Adventure Island 1. NES game. Let's see how these buttons react. Boom. Oh crap. Why am I jumping? Why am I jumping? Alright, let's not make that mistake again. I used to play this game all the time as a kid. This was like one of those NES games that I just loved and I could never like beat for some reason. Oh crap. You gotta continually eat in this game, man. Otherwise you die, your life bar just dwindles down. Oh, what is that? No! Oh. Yeah, this is one of them where I should swap the buttons around. Oh crap. I'm not doing too good. Let me see, button mapping. A. Wait, what am I doing? Please select player. Okay, I'm on player 1. Huh. Okay, I know what I want to do. Player 1. I want to change that to that, and that to that. And then apply it, and then get out of there. Now let me try this again. Okay, yeah, that fixed my that fixed my issue there. They were like recognizing, oh crap, they were recognizing exactly the way they are on here, A and then B, but if you recall NES games, it's A and then B, so I had to flip them. I was recognizing it the way this controller is set up, but for NES I had to flip it. This is one game I do have the original cartridges because I loved it so much. My NES collection, I've dwindled it down quite a bit. Just to games that I really love, and this is one of them that I still own because I loved this game growing up. Let me jump into the chat. Let me see what's going on with the chat. Let me take a breather here. Updated versions of the Genesis and Saturn for the Switch in the coming months. The wireless Bluetooth ones will be compatible. That is cool. Mark Cerny, I love the new gaming consoles, amazing graphics at home, but maybe it's because I'm older, but I miss the charm of classic arcades we hung out at the mall. I definitely agree with that, man. Definitely agree with that. I was at Target and there's still 20 PlayStation Classics and they are not where the consoles are. Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention, but I was just at Target too. Actually, before I started streaming, maybe a half hour before, I was at Target. And they still had a bunch of PlayStation Classics. They were listed at $59, I believe. Beneficial's still piss farting around. What? I wonder when the Sega Genesis Classic will drop. That's a good question. I want to find out as well. A lot of stuff going on in the chat, man. Really do appreciate all you guys hanging out with me, keeping me company up in here. They are down to $35.99 at the Target in Pittsburgh. I thought maybe they are lower, but I thought it was $59.99 where I was at. They had the arcade 1-ups too, and they were like clearance to like $120. When do the limited Madlittlepixel stubbins come out? That's what I want to talk about. I love all these stubbins I got, man. I think Retrobit got me hooked on these stubbins, dude. I think yeah, I think you guys gave me like 1 or 2 stubbins when I went to your offices last year. I believe it was. I can't keep track of time. And then after that, it was like, oh, Castlemania's selling stubbins? Let me buy a couple of those. Oh, they got stubbins at Target? Let me buy one. Oh, they got stubbins at Game Man. I keep buying stubbins. Why? Why do I buy stubbins for? Freaking ridiculous, man. Do you think arcade 1-ups are worth it? Not for $300. That's just my opinion. People don't like my opinion sometimes, but you know what? It is what it is. Because they're cute, yeah. I had the God of War ones, the geez, what was that game? A game that I own and I never freaking played it, man. The hell is that one with the girl? Horizon Zero Dawn. I have her, I have Megaman, Street Fighter ones. Man, I have a bunch of them. This is the Game Gear version, which is the same as the Master System version, right? Oops. I think that might mean death, right? Nope. Oh, crap. When is the MLP? I know Phil's Doodles like made like a mock-up MLP console when we were like talking crap about somebody. I don't remember who. Ah! Son of a... Oh yeah, good thing I didn't fall in the lava. No. Oh my god. I played the crap out of this on the Sega Game Gear back in the day. I had a Sega Game Gear. It was fun, man. I had the Game Boy first, but I think the Sega Game Gear like just intrigued me. I'm like, a backlit color screen? What? Get rid of this Game Boy. And I was so hooked on the Game Gear, man, but then the library of games just, over time, it didn't do it for me. And I was right back on the Game Boy. But it was still a fun system. Still loved the Game Gear, just didn't have the same variety that I had hoped for. I think there's slight differences in the bosses on the Master System versus Game Gear. I thought like a lot of these games that were on both systems, they were just like the Master System version, just ported to the Game Gear, because the Game Gear was essentially just a portable Master System. The links, man, there was like a fluorescent light behind the screen. That thing was ridiculous, man. There's like a whole light bulb behind the screen for the links. I never opened a Game Gear, but I've opened a Atari Lynx. The Atari Lynx was something I played a lot too. My brother had one, my younger brother. He had one when we were growing up, and I played it all the time because he wasn't much of a gamer, so it was pretty much mine. Both Sonic titles were Game Gear transferred to Master System. See, I'm not like, you know, I'm not a big Sega historian, so you guys know better than I do with a lot of this stuff. Who had Sega Channel back in the day? Yeah, the Game Gear burned through batteries like nobody's business, man. So did the Atari Lynx. Oh crap! Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. There's a bulb in the Game Gear. See, I didn't know that. I've never opened a Game Gear. Right? I think I may have. It's just been a long time. I don't know. I just don't remember, I guess. I just remember the Atari Lynx with the frickin' bulb in the back. Oh, so like, since I didn't jump, I can't get up there? Oh my god. I really want to see you use a Genesis game with the controller. Did I have, well, I mean, we played the Genesis stuff yesterday. This, I'm just kind of playing whatever. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I can't remember, man. If I did open one, it's been a long time. I just don't remember. Okay, that damn thing is down here. Oh. Save me, Jim Carrey. Definitely not excited. Come on. What am I? Definitely not excited for the... Oh my god. Definitely not excited for the Sonic movie. I don't know what to tell you guys. That's one I'm not excited for. I think I've played everything on here except for Bonk's Adventure. What? Start is the run button. There we go. The Sonic movie. Yeah, this one, I gotta change the buttons on this too. So let's select player 1. Change that, change that. Oh crap. You gotta hit apply. So you go select player 1, hit A, press B. That's how I want it to work. Hit apply. And then return the game. Unpause it. Okay. Dang you guys. Otero Studios, man, let me see. How long have I been? Hour and almost 8 minutes, man. Streaming for about an hour here. Just hanging out, testing these controllers. We were using the Sega Genesis USB controller on the Super Retro-Cade, and it worked just fine, but as soon as I switched to the Saturn pad, I'm just like, you know what, man? The Saturn pad is the way to go for me. I'll be using the Sega Saturn USB pad on the Super Retro-Cade. We need more Soldier Boy console. Man, yeah, we gotta... If he ever releases another Soldier Boy console, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Soldier-Cade, the Super Soldier-Cade, maybe? I don't know, man. I don't own any of the Soldier Boy consoles, so I can't test it. I don't have them anymore. You guys see, like, you know, when I did my teardowns, I kind of messed them up a little bit. I'm saying. Yeah, avoid the bouncing balls. I know, I just... I messed up, man. See, why is this Nightbot showing up on the chat that I could see, but they're not showing up in this chat? Nightbot, you're stupid. Stop telling people what to do. Yeah, there's tons of combinations to test with, man. But I had to get the Super Retro-Cade out of the way because so many people were asking. I mean, I've tried it on the PC, you know, just minor testing, nothing like really getting into it, but... Mattias, what up? Yeah, Retrobit came in to hang out, man. Get out of here, fool. Give me that meat. Give me the meat. Alright, let's do this. Get out of here. Let's stop Bonk. Man, Bonk was pretty fun back in the day, man. I didn't have a TurboGrafx, but I knew a kid who had one. And it was like, let's go to his house, man. Play some Splatterhouse and some Bonk's Adventure. Can't remember what other games he had. Those are the only ones I remember playing. Give me that happy face. I don't even know what the happy faces do. Is that just points? Come on, fool. Yeah, I didn't know anybody with the Neo Geo. I knew one person with the Turbo Graphics. Same thing with the Sega Master System. I didn't really know too many people with the Sega Master System. I knew like earlier around when the Sega Master System was out, I knew one person who had one. And then later on, like a little later on, like when the Sega Genesis was out, I knew another person who had one. But yeah, I didn't. It was the same thing. Like, didn't know anybody with the Neo Geo. My only exposure to Neo Geo was in the arcade. I don't even think I knew there was a home console version at the time. But there's definitely no way I could have afforded that. Come on, fool. Yeah, let's should we continue this or go to the actual games on the Retro-Cade? Yeah, the Turbo Express was a hefty little guy. Fun little console. I had one a few years back. I wound up getting rid of it though. Like I was just never using it. Oh, we can save SD card save state. So we saved it. And then if we load it. Okay, cool. I never really use, so you got 3 slots on both system and SD card. Interesting. Timothy White, phone's about to die, man. I hate when that happens, bro, but do appreciate you stopping in. Really do. Let me pop the SD card. Get back to what's actually included on the system. New Sega hardware would be awesome. I don't know how likely that is to happen though, unfortunately, other than their mini system. See what's going on up in here, guys. Tim Davis, do you think these Retrobit USB Sega controllers are worth getting for RetroArch or Mister if you already have several 8-bit-do controllers? I'm starting a Mister build. If you have 8-bit-do controllers that you like, I mean, I don't want to guide you in the wrong place. Like, I do like these controllers. But if you already have controllers that work for you, why spend more unless having the 6 face buttons is something that matters to you? 6 face buttons means something to me, man. Makes playing fighting games a bit easier. So I would recommend them, but if you already have controllers that work for you, I mean, there's no reason. Unless you're crazy like me, I'm always buying controllers. But 8-bit-do does make some quality stuff. I know I said it the other day in the 8-bit-do video that I did that, like, they're well over 90% hitting with their controllers. There's only been a couple controllers there, so I didn't care for. But yeah, 6, like Atero Studio is saying, 6 face button controllers for fighting games. If you're into fighting games, definitely. If you're using the Mister to play Sega Genesis, then yeah, I would recommend getting the 6-button Sega Genesis USB controller. I mean, just depends on what you're using the Mister for, what you need, what you already got. The analog Mega SG, yes, I'm waiting for that as well. That's going to be pretty awesome. Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap. That's what I'm talking about. Didn't get to play too much Sega Master System, but what I did play, I did like back in the day. Andrew McLean, appreciate you stopping in, man. Let's see, what else? I don't even remember all the games that are on here. Bad Dudes, pretty awesome. I'm sure I'll get my ass handed to me. Act Fencer, this one I don't even know what the heck it is. Air Duel, Manic Commando. What else we got up in here? Final Fight. PJ, what software do you use to create a build for Retropie? I know I've done a lot of tutorials for Retropie. It's definitely something you can mess around with in your spare time. That's what I did when I first learned using Retropie. As long as you got a Raspberry Pi, ready to go, have your SD card, everything good to go. You just need to use like WinDisk Imager on the PC to image the base Retropie file onto your SD card, and then just start building from there. There's a little bit of a learning curve, nothing crazy, but for sure something you can do in your spare time and figure out. See, this is what this looks like if we don't, if you don't change the resolution or the aspect ratio. Retrobit's leaving, man. Retrobit, gotta hit the road, everyone. Feel free to @ me and I'll do my best to respond. Appreciate you stopping in, Retrobit. Really do. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. All right, let's check this out a little bit more. We'll stream for a short while longer, maybe another 10 minutes or so. But this is what this looks like if you don't change the aspect ratio. Some people don't mind; they want to fill the whole screen, and you know, that's fine, I guess. But to me, it's kind of like, oh man, gotta. So if we go into there, we do save state SD card. Oh yeah, we're not on the SD card. Duh. We'll save the state. Ryborg, you're addicted to this game, huh? Wow, it takes a second to save the state to the internal memory. I don't think I ever really played with save states on here. There we go, we saved that. Now let's get back into here. Go to the main menu, change the to the resolution settings to original size. Go back into the game. Start this bad boy. Oh, I should have just hit load save state, huh? Let's go ahead and load that state. I should have just loaded it from the select screen there, but that's okay. 6 face buttons for arcade and fighters, definitely. Yeah, the USB controllers. We've tested the Sega Genesis and the Sega Saturn on the Super Retro-Cade. I was digging the Sega Genesis on here. It was really good. Don't get me wrong. But then I popped in the Sega Saturn. I was like, this is it right here. The D-pad's just so much better on the Sega Saturn. So for USB, see, that's what I just answered. Would you recommend the Genesis or the Saturn? The Saturn, man. I mean, why not both? But the Saturn, if you're getting it for a system like this, man, yes, I'm digging it. There we go. Is there an on-the-spot place? I don't know. I think there might be, but I don't know. I pieced mine together. Strip Fighter 2 on the PC. Yes, I've played Strip Fighter 2. Come on, man. I've played Strip Fighter 4 as well. Super Strip Fighter 4 on PC. Using the PSP to play retro games is definitely the way to go. I'm still looking for something that's cheap, simple, and besides the PSP or the Vita, I really haven't found anything, man. Just being honest with you. I've tried so many different handhelds, and sure, there's an appeal for a lot of them, but for me, I haven't found the perfect solution as far as like a cheap price point for a new product that works for what I want. Can you play Joe and Mac? Yeah, we'll play Joe and Mac. But it's definitely cool. This game is built in to this system, so I didn't have to load this on a SD card. But SD card, you got a lot of compatibility for this thing. The save and load times, yeah, it seemed pretty slow for the internal memory. On the SD card, it wasn't too bad. I wonder if we got to test this. This is kind of good because I never tested this before. I never tested save states. I just put the SD card back in. Let's save to the SD. Oh, that takes a moment too. It didn't take as long earlier for something else that I saved. Maybe it just depends on the game. Yeah, it might be per game because I'm pretty sure I saved the state on like Bonk or something and it was pretty quick. Kind of odd. I mean, I'm not a save state person for the most part, but I know that's important to a lot of people. I mean, the feature works, but it does seem a little slow. It might just be per game, though. I swear, like, all right, let me get out of this. I swear I tested that on Bonk. Pretty damn sure I tested it on Bonk, and it was like, it didn't take that long. Switch over to the SD card. Jump into Bonk. Yeah, see, the load was pretty quick. Yeah, maybe it's just, maybe like, yeah, if the game is on the SD card, the saves are faster, the memory, the access is faster than what's on the actual system. So it could just be because of the game or something. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. It works, but it's just a little slow if you're... Let's try something else. Let's try Super Mario World. This one I really had to figure out the remapping the controls if I were to play this on here. Oh crap! But let's SD save slot it. Oh, see, that's taking a moment too. It's taken a while on Mario. I mean, it's not crazy, but it is a bit longer saving than what I'm used to. Let me save to the system. Yeah, it's the same thing. A Nintendo game with a Sega controller. Yeah, I had to remap the buttons to play this game though. Pretty interesting. Like I said, I never noticed this before because I don't use save states too often. I know there's a couple streams that I did where I did have to like use save states, maybe like Harmful Park or something, or Super Chatty Parodius or Sexy Parodius. I know some shooters, some horizontal shooters, shoot 'em ups. I was using save states when I was on stream. I was like, this is getting intense, man. But other than that, I don't typically use save states too often. Oh, you son of a... It could depend on the game. Let's test something else out. Do I have another, like a game older than this? The Saturn USB doesn't have a mode button, but since it has 6 face buttons and it has an L and R, on the Super Retro-Cade, the L button is defaulted to select or mode, however you want to look at it. Let's try Adventure Island. Yeah, an NES game. See, now we're not even testing the controllers anymore. We're testing the save state. We're testing the Super Retro-Cade. See, boom. That saved pretty much like, boom. Yeah. It seems like it just depends on the size of the game. It's interesting. Huh. Very intriguing. So it could just be the file size of the game is really what is going to dictate how long it takes to save and load. Interesting stuff that we're discovering today. Ooh. Stupid bird. Oh crap, look at that. Oh, it's coming up. Right there. There we go. There we go. Yeah, not 100% with that, but it... Damn it. I mean, the save state thing doesn't bother me with the system because I never really used it to begin with, but... Yeah, it just seems like the larger games... and the arcade stuff, it seems to take a little longer to save. You're using save states. These games, like TurboGrafx and NES, didn't seem like too much of an issue. Pretty interesting stuff. See what's going on in the chat, guys. Yeah, I think let's hang out for a few more minutes. Talk to you guys. Stop playing. I'm digging the controllers, the USB controllers. My preference is the Sega Saturn. Yes, the Sega Genesis is cool because it has the LNRs if you want to use them for other things, and it does have the 6 face buttons for the USB version, and it has the start and mode on there. So that's cool, and it feels great, don't get me wrong, but my preference so far has been this with the D-pad. Castlemania, I think they show up tomorrow when I checked. So we'll be doing some videos on that stuff that you got on the way. I'll be peeping that stuff out, but I think it's tomorrow that it's showing up. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. My preference on the Super Retro-Cade is the Sega Saturn controller because that D-pad is straight legit. But that kind of goes to show you, like somebody was bringing up earlier, these controllers, they're really modeled after the originals with the way the D-pads were and stuff. And the Sega Saturn for sure had the superior D-pad, in my opinion. So that's, if I had to pick the two, I do like this blue, man. I wish the Sega Saturn there was a blue one. Blue's like my favorite color, man. So it's kind of, I'm a little biased with that. But yeah, I wish this was blue. Even though I do like this slate gray, cool pad color. But yeah, my preference is Sega Saturn pad on this. Is Sega USB better than the iBuffalo? Heck yes, I would definitely say that. The iBuffalo stuff is amazeballs, don't get me wrong. As far as USB Super Nintendo controllers go, they are legit. So it's really going to be your preference. You want USB Super Nintendo or do you want USB Sega Genesis? Because they're both good options. For me, it's kind of like, if I'm playing Super Nintendo, I probably want to use a Super Nintendo controller. But if I'm playing Sega or arcade games with 6 buttons, a Sega controller would be my preference anyway. But yeah, I think that's where we're at, man. I've been enjoying testing these out. I think they're quality controllers. I can't wait for the other stuff that Retrobit's doing, the Bluetooth stuff, the 2.4 gigahertz stuff. I did just get the 8BitDo 2.4 gigahertz controllers, so I'm going to test those out. I actually have one right here that's charging. Or I think it's finished charging now, but this is the 2.4 gigahertz 8BitDo, so I'm going to be testing this out as well later. Maybe do a video on it. It feels the same as the Bluetooth one, so really can't complain with that. But any other questions, comments, concerns before we get going here? We got about a minute before we end this stream. Yeah, the Bluetooth ones, I mean, I like the Bluetooth 8BitDo, but those dual analogs on the Retrobit, that's going to be something a lot of people are interested in. Prawn is faster than the Super Retro-Cade's save states. Mattias, can you say hello to my cat, Fifi Rope? What up, Fifi Rope? I hope you're not trying to trick me into saying something, man, because a lot of people wind up doing that. I usually catch it, but what's up, Fifi Rope? A Rope? Appreciate that, Chris Galloway. Mattias, I hope you're not trying to get me here, man. I just said something that I shouldn't have said. Oh, man. Pretty fun stream. Appreciate that, Lodmont. Mattias, no problem, man. No problem. As long as you're not trying to mess with me, man. Anything else? We're about to end it. A lot of fun. Kind of reinvigorated my desire for the Super Retro-Cade. I haven't played it in a while. Nana? Who is Nana? I don't know who Nana is, man. Have you ever used a Pi for anything besides gaming? Yes, I've used it for a few different things. Different projects, some Arduino stuff, RC cars, little smart cars, different little projects. Stuff that I kind of wanted to do content with, but I just didn't think my channel people would really care. Nana from Ice Climbers. Okay, well, Nana from Ice Climbers is hot. All right, man. I guess if that's what you're into, man. But yeah, I've done like little display like panels and stuff. If you would have to buy only one controller, 8BitDo or Sega Saturn. See, that's a tough one because it's kind of a different thing. The 8BitDo's for the Sega Genesis. That's the way I'm looking at it. Unless if you're talking, you know, to play for emulation, I would probably have a different opinion than if you're saying for an actual system. Because for the actual system, I would go with Retrobit for sure. For the original port, Sega Saturn and Sega Genesis. The 8BitDo stuff being wireless, I really want to compare that to the Retrobit stuff, but I want to wait until Retrobit puts out their wireless stuff, so it's a fair comparison. Because with the Retrobit stuff that's out right now, they're mimicking the original controllers, and then the USB version for the Sega Genesis kind of a little different. So to me, it's more like compare those to the original controllers. The Bluetooth stuff I'll compare when both of them have their stuff out, because it's kind of hard to compare. I like both of them though. I really do enjoy that Bluetooth 8BitDo controller, but I do want to get that Retrobit Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz controller, and then do comparisons between the two, the build quality, all that kind of stuff, the responsiveness, all those good things. So I wonder if the Bluetooth Retrobit controllers can be cross retro platform. There we go, playing the Saturn Bluetooth on the Sega Gen. That would be interesting. I'm not 100% on that. Mattias, can you dab? No, I cannot dab, man. You guys are great though, man, but we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Really do appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. We'll be streaming again probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Unless you guys are in some part of the world that's already Friday, then it might be Saturday. I don't know, but we most likely will be streaming tomorrow. I'll have to check it out. Shad255 says they do work like that. That's cool. I did not know that. It is great that companies are making controllers for old systems. Some people don't get it, some people do. I think it's sweet. Awesomeness, cross-testing the Soldier game. But hey, really do appreciate all you guys. It was fun. Thank you. Smash that like button, do all that good stuff. See, Jazz, it's already Friday where he's at, man. Appreciate it. I will catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. And boom. Bye.